So if you've been dreaming of waking up to the sound of the Pacific Ocean and the smell of fresh corn tortillas, you aren't alone. Puerto Vallarta has always been a favorite. Now that we've moved through 2025 and look forward to 2026, we're seeing a massive vibe shift. You know, it's no longer just a place for a one-week getaway. It has become a primary residence for thousands of digital nomads, entrepreneurs, and retirees from across the globe. But with this popularity comes a very real and a very urgent question. Has it become too expensive? You know, I'm seeing a lot of videos out there giving budget numbers that quite frankly feel like they're from 2018. If you try to move here today based on 5-year-old data, you're going to have a very stressful first month. Now, Puerto Vallarta is maturing. It's no longer a cheap destination. It's a high-value destination. So in this video, we're going to do a deep dive. We aren't just looking at the price of a taco or a beer. We're looking at the 2026 rental reality across 5 distinct neighborhoods. The hidden taxes of living in the tropics. We'll talk about the buying versus renting math and why waiting until 2027 to buy might be the most expensive mistake that you make. And finally, I'll do a line-by-line monthly budget for a single person versus a couple. Whether you're a solo remote worker or a retired couple looking for paradise, this is your roadmap for a smart move. So let me just step in here and say, if you're thinking about moving to Puerto Vallarta, whether that's in 9 days, 90 days, or even 9 months, please feel free to call me, text me, email me, WhatsApp me. That's pretty popular down here. At any time, if you have any questions or you'd like to know more about the Puerto Vallarta real estate market here. I'd also like to remind you, if you like my videos, please push the like button there and check out my other videos on the channel here. And please subscribe to my channel because that really helps me out. So let's look at the big picture. Before we look at the numbers, we have to talk about the Mexico math. For years, the exchange rate was the expat's best friend, but in the last 18 months or so, the Mexican peso has shown incredible resilience. You might even hear people calling it the super peso at this point. When the peso is strong, your US dollar or Canadian dollar doesn't go quite as far at the grocery store or when paying a landlord who demands pesos. So as we look towards 2026, most financial analysts are predicting continued stability. This means you cannot rely on currency fluctuations to save you money. You need to budget based on the current local cost of goods. Now, the golden rule for 2026, budget in pesos, but track in dollars. If you're a single person, you're looking at roughly 35,000 to 45,000 pesos a month for a comfortable life. Now, for a couple, that's closer to 60,000 to 75,000 pesos. At current rates, that means a single person is spending roughly 1,900 to 2,500 US dollars, and a couple is looking at 3,200 to 4,000 US dollars. So let's break down where that money actually goes, starting with the biggest line item, your home. So the question is, where should you live? Housing is your biggest expense, taking up roughly 40 to 50% of your budget. In Vallarta, 2 miles can mean a $1,000 difference in rent. So let's look at the personality of these neighborhoods and their 2026 price tags for a modern long-term 1-bedroom condo. In the downtown area, Zona Romantica and Centro, this is called the Old Town. Now it's charming, it's got cobblestone streets, and it's incredibly vibrant. You have the best restaurants and the beach on your doorstep. So in an area like that, you're looking at rent of 1,500 to 2,500 US dollars per month. Now the catch is you pay a premium for walkability. It's also noisy. If you need silence for Zoom calls, this might not be your spot. In 2026, we expect these prices to stay high because the demand for this specific tourist zone is permanent. The next one's a little bit further up. It's called Cinco de Diciembre, 5th of December. Now this is the hilly neighborhood just north of Centro. It's more authentic and has incredible ocean views when you're up on the hill. And a 1-bedroom condo in that area is going to cost you $1,000 to 1,600 US dollars a month. And the catch here is your glutes will get a workout, believe me. The hills are steep and many older buildings don't have elevators, but for the view, many say it's worth it. And a lot of the new projects have elevators now. The next one is Versalles and Fluvial. Now this is the foodie capital. It's flat, it's easy to walk, and it feels like a real neighborhood rather than a tourist zone. A rent in this neighborhood is going to cost you somewhere around 1,100 to 1,500 US dollars. The 2026 trend, Versailles is exploding. New condos are popping up every month. And if you're looking to buy, this is a high growth area for appreciation. So let's talk about the marina in Puerto Vallarta, Marina Vallarta. Luxury yachts and golf courses. It's manicured, it's quiet, and it's very, very safe. A one bedroom there is going to cost you anywhere from 1,600 US dollars to 2,400 US dollars. And the vibe is, it feels more like Florida or Southern California. It's great for those who want easy living and proximity to the airport. Moving out of Puerto Vallarta, we have Nuevo Vallarta. Now, technically, that's in the state of Nayarit, but it's on the Bay of Banderas. And a one bedroom there is going to cost you from 1,000 US dollars to 1,800 US dollars. The catch is you likely need a car or a golf cart here. It's very spread out, but the beaches are much wider and sandier than in town, and it's gorgeous. Beautiful beaches. So let's talk renting versus buying. This is probably the most important part of the video for anyone serious about Puerto Vallarta. Most people come here and rent for a few months or up to a year. Now that's smart. You need to date the city before you marry it. But by year two, many realize they've just handed 25,000 US dollars to a landlord with zero return on that investment. So this is why buying is the stabilizer for 2026. In a rising market, rent is a variable cost, but a home is a fixed asset. So if you buy a condo in 2026, you are essentially prepaying your housing for the next 10 years at today's price. Let's take a look at the math. If you rent a nice condo for, let's say, $2,000 a month, and rent goes up just 7% a year, which is conservative here, by 2028, you're paying $2,450 a month. If you buy that same condo, you're carrying costs, which means your HOA fees, your property taxes, which are minimal in Mexico, and your insurance will likely be under $500 a month. Now, even if you don't pay cash and you use financing, you're building equity in one of the most desirable beach markets in the world. So here's a 2026 factor for you. With the new highway from Guadalajara now fully operational, the weekend wealth, what I call the weekend wealth from Mexico's second largest city, is flooding into Puerto Vallarta. This is driving up property values. So if you wait until 2027 to buy, you aren't just paying more for the property, you're likely getting a smaller unit or a worse location for the same money. So here's a pro tip. When you buy, you also protect yourself from renoviction. Now, renoviction is where a landlord ends your lease just to put the unit on Airbnb for double the price. Ownership is the only way to truly lock in your cost of living. Let's talk utilities and the AC factor. So people always ask me, is the electricity really that expensive in Mexico? And the answer is only if you're irresponsible. Now, Mexico uses a tiered pricing system called DAC, D-A-C, de alto consumo. And if you run your AC 24/7 with the windows open, the government sees you as a high consumer and removes your subsidies. Your bill could jump from $40 a month to $400 a month overnight. So a monthly utility breakdown for 2026 would look something like this. Electricity in winter will be $30 to $50 a month. Electricity in summer with AC is $120 to $250. Water, $10 usually included in your HOA if you own a property. Gas, $15, which is used for your stove and your water heater. Now your fiber optic internet, $30 to $55 with high speeds. Pro tip for buyers. If you're shopping for a home, look for solar panels in Puerto Vallarta. In Puerto Vallarta's 300 plus days of sunshine, solar can literally bring your electricity bill down to the minimum. Let's talk about food. You can spend as much or as little as you want here. In 2026, we see two distinct paths. Path A is the gringo path, and this is shopping at Costco, Walmart, or La Comer for imported US brands. If you need your specific brand of almond milk, imported cheeses, and USDA choice steaks, you'll pay 20% more than you do in the US. And your budget on that is $600 a month for a couple. Path B, the local path. Now, this is shopping at the weekly street markets and local fruterias. You buy what is in season, mangoes in the summer, avocados that actually taste like something, and fresh shrimp right off the boat. And your budget here is about $350 a month for a couple. Most of us live somewhere in the middle. We go to the Costco once a month for the basics and hit the local markets for everything else. It's healthier, it's cheaper, and it supports the local community. Let's talk healthcare and what I call the Mexico dividend. Healthcare is the hidden savings of moving to Mexico. For many of my friends from the US, the money they save on healthcare literally pays for their lifestyle here. For example, a specialist visit like a cardiologist or a dermatologist is like 60 to 80 US dollars. A full dental cleaning is $45, and major surgery often 50 to 70% less than in the US. Performed in world-class hospitals like Vallarta Medical Center or Hoya Hospital. Private health insurance. Now, if you're under 60 and healthy, a high-quality private policy will run you $150 to $250 a month. Even if you pay out of pocket for routine things, your annual healthcare spend is a fraction of what it is up north. Now, this is a massive factor to consider when calculating your 2026 stability. Transportation and lifestyle is a consideration. So the question is, do you need a car in Puerto Vallarta in 2026? For most people, the answer really is no, you don't need it. We have services like Uber and InDrive. Most rides across town are $4 to $8 US dollars. Even if you take 2 Ubers a day, you're only spending $300 a month. Compare that to a car payment, insurance, and the nightmare of finding parking in the Zona Romantica or some of these areas downtown. Now, if you take the bus, it's only 10 pesos. That's about 60 cents. It's an adventure, believe me. It's sweaty, but it does get you everywhere. And the fun part, lifestyle and entertainment. Now, this is why you moved here, right? So street tacos are $1.50 each. A nice dinner with wine is about $40 per person, which is not that much. A gym membership is $40 to $70 a month. House cleaning, $25 to $35 per visit. And having a clean house and your laundry done for you is a luxury that becomes a standard here. Now, most people find that for $200 to $400 a month, they can have a socialite lifestyle that would cost thousands in Vancouver, New York, or Los Angeles. So let's look at the 2026 forecast, a final summary here. Let's pull the curtain back and look at the final numbers for comfortable living. So housing, rent, $1,300 to $1,800 US dollars. Utilities, $100 to $150. Groceries, $300 to $500 a month. Dining and social life, $300 to $600. Transport, $100 to $150 US dollars. Healthcare insurance under 60, $150 to $300. So that's about a total of $2,250 to $3,500 US dollars. If you're a renter, I want you to build a 10% buffer into these numbers for this year. As more people work remotely, the competition for good apartments will only increase. If you're a buyer, your 2026 looks much more stable. By locking in your housing now, your total cost actually drops because you're no longer paying a landlord's mortgage. You're actually building your own wealth. Puerto Vallarta is really at a crossroads now. It's transforming from a sleeping fishing town into a world-class coastal city. Yes, the prices are higher than they were 5 years ago for sure, but the value, the joy per dollar is still higher here than almost anywhere else in North America. So if you're serious about making the move, don't just watch videos. Come down here for a test drive. Maybe rent an Airbnb for a few weeks in a neighborhood like Versalles or Cinco de Diciembre for 2 weeks or a month. Shop at the local markets, pay a light bill, see if the rhythm of life here works for you. And I can even show you a condo or two while you're here, so you can see what's available on the market. And if you've decided that Vallarta is home, start your real estate research now. The market in 2027 will not be cheaper than the market today. If you found this breakdown helpful, please hit the like button below and subscribe to my channel, because that really helps me out. I put a link in the description to my buyer's guide also, and that's a guide that shows you all the steps to buying property in Mexico as a foreigner. Do you have a question about a specific neighborhood? Drop it in the comments below and I will respond to as many as I can. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you here in Puerto Vallarta soon. Hasta luego.